Boom! Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This month I'm going to draw every single day for 30 minutes every day and see how much I can improve. I wanted to learn how to draw objects, animals, characters, people and more. After seeing this video of Graham Shaw explaining that everyone can draw and that drawing is not only a way to create art but can be used for learning things, memorizing stuff, and is also applied in business practices, I decided to take on this challenge. I got a couple of pencils, some paper and a beginner's hand to improve my skills. So let the challenge begin. When I was a kid, I remember drawing cartoon characters every week, but I never really tracked my progress or even saved my drawings sometimes. I haven't got any experience and I haven't properly drawn since I was 12. For this challenge, I decided to improve my portraits and anything in particular really. The first drawing I did was of myself. I took this selfie as a reference and tried to recreate it. What the hell? This freaking guy doesn't even look like me. I was like, okay, there's definitely room for improvement here. And then I drew this Victorinox knife, which definitely didn't look like a Victorinox knife. I mean, the proportions were like really weird and it didn't really look like three-dimensional or anything like that. After that, the next days I drew a sphere and an eye and a persimmon I had at home. I must say this looked pretty shit. I mean, I was just trying to do stuff without really looking at anything in particular. I just tried to draw something. I remember as a kid I started drawing without thinking about technique or special drawing techniques. But for this challenge I have to do some research to find some drawing secrets that I could use to my advantage. I found 3 basic steps to follow: drawing edges, proportions, and light and shadow to create perspectives, and of course consistency. So let the challenge begin. I started by practicing edges. Hard, soft, and lost are 3 essential edges to make a focused look. Firstly, focus on the easier ones and gradually move to the hard ones. Then I also practiced basic shapes and a bit more complex ones, as that helps drawing the right proportions, something that I was struggling at the beginning. And then I started drawing shades to make the objects look 3-dimensional. I drew a couple of spheres, a cube, pyramid, cylinder and a cone. I was quite satisfied with the results, so I decided to move to facial body parts, drawing eyes in different perspectives, noses, eyebrows and mouths. I tried to draw some objects like chairs and matryoshka I had at home. That was fun, but still struggling to make the proportions right sometimes. I tried to apply my body parts knowledge to some portraits and drew a man and a woman. Then I found a technique consisting of sketching a drawing with a pencil and marking it with a pen. So I tried that out by making a skull. That was quite fun. I thought I was going to ruin the drawing, but it turned out to be pretty decent in the end. I experienced more with light and shadow by making this candle, a very cool technique to make the light shine using cotton buds to do the shading. I attempted to draw a pine tree and this is what I got. I wasn't super satisfied but didn't mind it either. Now I felt quite ready to take on some bigger drawings, so I tried to draw an apple, imagining where the light was coming from to create the right shadows. I attempted again to draw a face, but this time I focused a lot on the eyes, nose and mouth, rather than the entire head. I used a lot of hard edges to get an intense look. I quite like the final results, even though it's unfinished. I haven't drawn any animals, so I decided to look for some tutorials and I decided to draw a wolf. I started by making basic shapes and connected them accordingly, but after a while I started to realize that proportions weren't right and scraped that drawing. I didn't give up there and I looked for other animal drawing tutorials and I decided to draw a cat. Firstly, I used a ruler to get the right proportions. Since I was pretty disappointed by the wolf drawing, I used plenty of time doing that. Then I moved into really lightly sketching the eyes, nose, mouth and the shape of the head. Right after that I continued with hard edges around those areas and started drawing lost edges around the face to fill in the empty spots. I kept making sort of random lines around the face to recreate the fur and tried to make some areas darker than others to create light and shadow so that the cat would look like 3-dimensional. In the end, I went over the main lines again, and here's my result. I was freaking amazed and definitely improved since my first day. Then, because Venom 2 was out and I think it's such a cool character, I decided to draw it. I started by drawing basic shapes and connecting them. I then carried on by shading around such shapes and at the same time added important details like the teeth and the mouth. Finally, the most satisfying part of all, adding bold lines using a thicker pencil. This was freaking amazing. I mean, I really liked it, and even though some of the proportions weren't right, I just loved it. It was great. I mean, I could see a massive improvement from the very first day. So here I was, with 2 drawings left to do. Before attempting again to draw my self-portrait, I decided to practice a bit more and drew another cat, using this picture as a reference. I was satisfied with the result and ready to start my final drawing. I wanted to see if by applying all the techniques I learned in these 30 days, I would draw my self-portrait a bit better, since this one here didn't even look like me in the first place. I began by drawing the frame with the help of a ruler to understand the right proportions. After that, I started sketching the shape and the major details of my face. This step took me quite a while, as I kept looking at the picture back and forth to make sure I was still on the right track. It took me more than 30 minutes to draw the eyes, and then I started to fill in the empty spots to recreate where natural light and shadows were positioned around my face. I realized that some of the proportions around my face weren't right, so I decided to erase part of my neck and chin and draw it again. After some retouching around the overall drawing and using hard edges in key areas of my face, by looking once more at the original picture and trying to compare it a lot, I decided to stop there, and in the end, that's what I got. Even though there's still a lot of room for improvement, I was really satisfied with this challenge, and I would recommend anyone try it out, because it's such a fun way to actually see your progress from day 1 to day 30, and it's just a cool skill to have, really. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next challenge. Bye!